Done. Done.
Done, Rani?
Yes, ma'am. Done.
Okay, let's come to the third part. Okay, see, this is a coil, Rani, which has the length as L, width as B. This capital B, these are the magnetic field lines which are crossing. So this is at a random angle. Okay, making a random, the plane of this coil makes an angle of theta with the magnetic field. Okay, here this is making an angle theta with the magnetic field. Now current is moving like this. The green part that I have drawn, this is the current. Now Rani, we'll see where will the forces be. Okay, before coming to the torque part. See, this is actually put like this. This is put like this in the YZ. But it's difficult to draw it like this, so that's why I've drawn it like this. Otherwise, this is completely like this. Okay, this is how it is. So see,
Yes.
this is A point, this is B point. So current is moving from B to A. Now you also put your hand like this, the way the current is coming from B to A like this, B point to A point. Okay. Now where is the magnetic field? Magnetic field is towards the right. So I'll curl my fingers towards the right. Hand along the direction of the current. See, current was flowing from B to A. So hand along the direction of current, curling the fingers around magnetic field. Where is the thumb pointing? Upwards.
Upwards.
So force here will be upwards.
Ma'am, how do we know that the thumb, our hand should point to the screen or towards ourselves?
Because current is coming towards you. So automatically your hand will come like this, no?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is FAB. Now let's see this one. This is this one, the one which is towards me, this side, like this. So current is moving downwards. So we'll have our hand downwards, right? Magnetic field is towards the right. So curl the fingers towards the right. Thumb is pointing outwards.
Upwards.
So this will be outward. This is outwards. This part, this whole thing is outward. It's difficult to draw outwards, so I'm just writing it like this.
K
Okay,
cap.
DC. Now see. Huh?
K cap, ma'am.
Yes, K cap, exactly. Now see, Ranim, look. DC, current is flowing inside. So we now know we have to put our palm inside. Okay, this is how you will differentiate. Like it won't be outside, no, this time it will be inside. But I have to curl my fingers towards magnetic field. Okay, now see. When I curl my fingers towards magnetic field, the hand is along the direction of the current. The curling of the fingers towards the magnetic field, thumb is pointing down. So,
Ma'am, but the current is flowing from D to C, right?
yes, D to T
So
inside,
we
like this, inside the page. D is this, T is this. If I draw it like this, you will see it like this, but it's actually like this. So this is difficult to draw. So this is the D point, this is the C point. So current is going inside. So inside, magnetic field towards the right, curling the fingers towards the right, thumb pointing downwards. Okay.
ma'am, like I don't get the difference where what you just did. I did the opposite. Like I did the opposite, but I'm getting upwards.
How? Current
Ma'am,
is going inside the screen. Can you see that?
yes,
So you will also point your hand towards the screen.
yes.
Okay.
But
Now
where should I tilt it? Should I tilt it towards? Where should
that
the palm be facing?
I'll tell you. First, you get to know this that your fingers will be pointing inside. This is clear.
Yes,
Now
yes,
see, there are lots of possibilities. It could be kept like this. It could be kept like this. It could be kept like this. Right? This is the confusion.
yes, yes, ma'am.
Now see, you have to put your palms in such a manner where you are able to curl it towards the magnetic field. Now see, Raneem, if I take my hand like this and I put it like this, will I be able to curl it towards the right? It's not possible. Not possible. Not possible. The only possibility is this, curling the hand towards the right. That's how we get. Got it?
Ma'am, what means curling towards the magnetic field? Like,
Your fingers, they are curling towards the magnetic field. We did this, I think. Now, this is the last time which we are doing it. Curling towards the magnetic field, we have done it so many times. Where is your magnetic field? Right? Your palm should face the right. See,
okay,
wherever the magnetic field is, think it like this. Wherever your magnetic field is, your palm
yes,
should face that direction. Okay.
okay,
Now, see, if I put it like this, my palm is facing left. So that would be incorrect because magnetic field is pointing towards the right.
yes,
So
ma'am.
we
I
have
got
to
it.
curl towards the right. Okay. Think it like this. Don't think where is the magnetic field going or moving. Just think wherever the current, that direction will be decided first. Now, where the palm will face will be decided by the magnetic field. Like I'll tell you for CB. First, you try.
CB,
Yeah, current is moving upwards.
ma'am, I'm getting inwards.
Yes, right, correct. See, up means this,
Yes,
right? It could be this, it could be this. Now we know one thing, palm should face towards the right because magnetic field is right. So directly it becomes inwards. Now you've got it, Ranim, I think.
yes, ma'am.
FTC. Now, anyway, see, Ranim, here all the magnetic fields will cancel themselves. Okay? Creating the net magnetic field, they'll all the, sorry, not the magnetic field, all the forces will cancel themselves. Opposite forces, definitely they'll cancel same length, same distance, and everything. So remember one thing, there won't be any movement in coil because net force is zero. Okay. FAB plus FBC plus FCD plus FDM. Are you getting this? If the net force is zero, body will not move. If you are able to sit right now, it means the net force on you is zero right now. Then only you are able to
Yes,
sit. Okay, so so no translation. Just remember this. That's why I just told you this whole force theory. Otherwise, this word is not necessary here. No translation. Okay. Now, but remember there will be a torque existing. Now, torque, I hope you know from class 11, the
yes, ma'am.
rotational.
Rotation. Yes, ma'am.
So torque has few formula. Just remember the formula. T. Can you tell me one formula of torque from the electric field and charges?
P E sin theta.
Yes, P E sin theta, exactly. That is P cross. So write it in terms of magnetic field now. Electric dipole becomes magnetic dipole. Electric field becomes magnetic field. So sin theta equal to N equal to. which is equal to mv times. This is the formula. M is the magnetic moment. It was the
Yes.
electric moment. This was the magnetic electric field, magnetic field. That's this is what you have to remember. And just in case, see, M is equal to AI, so this becomes AIB. Or for n turns, this becomes NAIB sine theta. Here also sine theta will.
Ma'am, are there definite derivations for these?
No, you don't have to do that. Okay, that's not there in your syllabus. And NEET you don't require. Okay, just remember the. Please write this, Ranim, then we'll come to the galvanometer, last part of the chapter.
Ma'am, done. Ma'am, done. Ma'am, AIB sin theta and NIAB sin theta, what are they for?
What?
Ma'am, AIB sin theta and NIB sin theta, what are they for?
Magnetic moments formula?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. But according to question, you have to substitute. Yeah?
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, see, if magnetic field is given, current is given, means you don't have the magnetic moment. Then you can use. Are you done or still writing?
1 minute, ma'am.
You done, Rani?
Ma'am, 1 minute.
Okay.
Ma'am, done. Ma'am,
Okay, Rani. See, what's a galvanometer? Understand the galvanometer. Very easy. See, have you seen a galvanometer actually?
ma'am, lab,
लैब
it
में
was
देखा है
there.
रनी
Yes.
experiments में? No. See, Rani, basically what is a galvanometer? Galvanometer is just a device that detects current. Okay. When I say detects current, it means it's a device used to detect current. Detect current means it just tells whether current is existing in your circuit, yes or no. Current is not existing in the circuit. That is
It
what
will
a
not give
galvanometer
the
is.
value of existence,
Exactly.
ma'am.
It won't give the value of the current that is existing. For that, you have ammeter, you have voltmeter. Okay. So, like this, if I say, see, this is how the wires are connected, and the rest of the circuit is done, and the other end of the wire is connected. This is the positive part, the red color, and the negative part. This is how it looks like. Okay, so it will give a deflection if the current is existing. Like if there is no current in my circuit, so the pointer will remain as it is. But if there is a current, this will show a deflection. Yeah, you can predict one thing. If the deflection is more, it means current is more. If deflection is less, means current is less. That's the only difference.
Ma'am, there are two sets of readings, so what do we consider in two sets?
What?
There are two sets of readings, like 10 here, 10 here, 20 there, 20.
Yes, in here and
Yes,
in here, this part.
yes, ma'am.
This is the same part. Means current will be deflected on either of the side. Okay, because let me tell you the mechanism, then I think it will be a little clear. First, let me tell you its construction, then this part will be clear. See, how it is actually constructed is you have permanent magnets like this. What are these? North and South Pole, the magnets. Permanent.
Ma'am, what permanent, what is permanent, ma'am?
Permanent magnets means those are actual real magnets, means you have not magnetized a substance. There are certain substances that are not magnetic in nature, but they can temporarily be magnetized. So these are actual permanent real magnets taken. Then the radial curvature is made. This is how they are taken. Radially, they are curved. Radially curved. So because of that, why it is radially curved? So as to get a radial magnetic field so that it spreads out. And this is a soft iron core that is chosen. Soft iron core. Okay. On which these are copper wires wrapped, insulated copper wires. These are wrapped, which help in conduction. So these are copper wires.
Ma'am, why are they radially curved?
So
The
as to
permanent.
spread the magnetic field. And this is a spring that is put, and on this spring, a pointer is connected. This is the pointer that we see, and this is there's a scale. This scale is what is observable for us. This is inside. Like if I show you its real structure, wait. See, if you cut and open a galvanometer, this is how it looks like. This is the scale part, okay, which we see, which is just double, it just has the double readings. This is the scale. See, these are the magnets. Can you see this part? This
Yes,
one.
ma'am, the grey ones.
Yes, yes, these gray ones. These are the radially curved magnetic field to spread them. Here is a soft iron core, and this part, these are the wire, which I was telling you, no? The wire they are continuously wrapped. And there's a spring over here, which is not very visible here, and a pointer is going like this. So this is how it looks from inside. So what happens
Ma'am,
is
what is around that permanent magnets?
this
Yes.
these are all the stands, the metallic stands and all to hold them. Basic structure is this that is working. Rest of it is just to hold them. Like see, this is attached, this is attaching the scale and all. So what happens here is basically you have to remember when there are magnetic field lines present, and especially the curved magnetic field line. Magnetic field lines gives rise to magnetic moment, and magnetic moment will give rise to torque. But this will be only existing when you have a current dependent. Okay, means I'll just tell you this principle. See, if a current carrying coil means this coil which is there, which is having the copper coil, if this current is existing, see what was the formula of torque that we saw? NAIB cos sine theta. So
Yes.
current, if current is there in your circuit, so what will you get? Torque is equal to NAIB sine theta is the formula. Magnetic field is already there. Current is coming. Okay. Number of turns are existing. Area of the coil will also be there. Angle will already be formed. These are the two things. Current was just lacking. If current is there, it will cause a torque. And that torque actually causes the pointer to move. So this is why we are able to observe the current. See, if a current carrying coil is placed in magnetic field constant, we usually take constant magnetic field, then it experiences current dependent torque. Okay, why? Because we know tau is equal to NAIB sine theta. That's why I told you its formula so urgently. So that you can understand this. Then it experiences the torque, and torque will produce angular deflection. Torque's function is to rotate. So that's why
Yes.
if there is current in your circuit, this pointer will be deflected either here or depending on its magnitude. Or if there is no current, it will
But
just be
ma'am,
static.
principle says that if only current carrying coil is placed in magnetic field, it
Yeah.
does not mention current. I mean, the
What?
presence of current.
What is meant by current carrying coil then?
Ma'am, just the coil.
No, 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 no. Current carrying coil. I think when we started the chapter, I am using this term so many times. And when I started the chapter, I told you sources of magnetic field, current carrying coil. Please, Ranim,
Yes,
there
ma'am.
are two words, coil and current carrying coil. Okay.
They are
Coil means
not
the
the
coil,
same.
any coil. Okay. Current carrying coil means current is there. A coil can be any coil.
Yes,
Like if
ma'am.
you take a wire, you just turn it into a form of a coil. That will also be a coil. Current carrying coil means current is there. So if current is not there, then the pointer will not move. So we'll get to know there is no current in our circuit. Okay, so current carrying coil means current is there in this. All these are turnings, no? Copper turnings are there. So n number of turns that we say, this is how we get 2 turns, 3 turns, 4 turns. And in this figure, if you look properly here, you will be able to see lots of turns are there. Look, so many. So that's why current carrying coil means the coil is carrying the current. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
We say current carrying conductor, current carrying coil means current is there. That is for sure. Otherwise, wire or coil term will be mentioned. Got it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Got it.
One more thing, Rani. See, I didn't discuss this with you or not. In 11th, usually we discuss. I don't know we have discussed it before or not. Whenever you have any torque that deflects or any force that disturbs the mean position, this was there in your SHM. So there's a deflecting torque over here. Deflecting means the torque that is producing the pointer to move. That deflecting torque is basically NAIB. Just a minute, Rani. Yes, Rani. See, we know the torque is NAIB sine theta and the magnetic field are radial. So radial magnetic field will always make an angle of 90 degree to the surface. Here sine theta becomes 90 degree. Okay. So sine theta is equal to 1 because it is theta is equal to 90 degree. The magnetic field will be perpendicular to the area. Now, see, the torque that is required to bring back the pointer to its mean position, that is known as the restoring torque. Whenever you have any system, this is not just about the galvanometer, any system you have, the deflecting torque will try to deflect it and restoring torque will try to bring it back. Similar is for the
Yes.
force also. If you just shift something from its mean position, then the body will be brought back to its mean position, like the spring. When you drop a
Yes.
spring with a block comes back. So this was there in SHM. Now restoring torques formula is K theta from your SHM. Okay, K into both of these are equal. Both of them are giving you the torques, and AIB is equal to K theta. Basically, theta will be the deflection that is coming. It is equal to NAIB divided by K. Now I'll just tell you what are all these terms. Theta will be the deflection. It's directly we know theta will be the angle by how much the pointer is getting deflected.
Ma'am, deflection at every single point or deflection at maximum point?
Maximum. Total deflection. This is the number of turns. A is the area of coil. All these things will be given to you in the exam. I is the current. B is the magnetic field. And K is the torsion constant. We call this as the torsion constant. It's just a constant that will be provided. Basically, the constant that comes because torque is directly proportional to displacement. So it's a constant term. So this is just calculated experimentally. So in the questions, it will be provided to you. This is what is deflection. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
So quickly write down this part also, Rani.
Ma'am, does galvanometer also detect very low amount feeble current?
Yes, it does. The
So
deflection
no,
will be less then.
it's negligible in this
No,
galvanometer.
no, that's the only function of the galvanometer.
No, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
Okay, Rani, you were saying something that if a very small amount of current is there, will it be able to show or not? So that is known as the sensitivity of a galvanometer. Okay, if this galvanometer, like we generally use the term sensitive for people also, that a person is very sensitive if he or she reacts for a very small situation, right? That's what we say. So
Yes.
similarly, galvanometer is also said to be sensitive if it gives a very large deflection for a very small current. Just it's like giving a very huge reaction to a very small torque. So galvanometer is able to give a very large deflection even for small values of current. Usually for small values, very minor deflection should be there. But if a galvan that can be due to mechanical error, manufacturing error, or wear and tear usage and all. So that happens that we call the galvanometer as sensitive. Now there
So,
are
ma'am,
two kinds of
sensitivity is
sensitivities.
the
One is
true
known as
type of error. Ma'am,
sensitivity
sensitivity
is a type, yes,
is a type of
an
error.
instrument error. Okay,
Okay.
because it is giving you larger value for lesser deflection, which shouldn't be there. So that's a sort of error. Now there are two mathematical formula for sensitivity. One is deflection per unit current. When we take, this is known as the current sensitivity. You take the deflection, you divide it by the current that is there. These are all mathematical terms. So relatable term is sensitivity, but yes, you have to remember it for the numericals. So theta was NAIB divided by K, and this current. Current gets cancelled. So current sensitivity is NAB divided by K. Similarly, voltage sensitivity is also a mathematical term only. Voltage sensitivity means voltage, the deflection divided by the voltage. Now, voltage we know it is current into resistance using Ohm's law.
Yes.
So if you put theta as NAIB divided by K, this is I into R. II will again be cancelled. So voltage sensitivity will be NAB divided by K R. Okay.
Ma'am, in voltage resistance has to play a role.
Yeah, voltage resistance would be the resistance of the galvanometer. Galvanometer will also have its resistance. It's a device, so resistance will be there. Okay, this part I'll tell you later. First, you write down these sensitivity part. Okay.
So, ma'am, did you receive the worksheet that I sent?
No, you shared it, Rani, with them
Ma'am, I shared it to the team. I don't know if they sent it to
today.
you. Yes, today
Wait,
morning.
wait, wait, wait.
I'm done. I'm done.
Written till the end.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Rani, I'm seeing the PDF that you have that you shared. First page, I think all the questions we have done. Everything is covered. And from the second page, electric field, magnetic field, charge particle.
Ma'am, case study, I don't think it will be there because 4 markers are not there.
Case studies will not come in the UTs.
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right, that coil and all fun also. Anyway, I think most of the things are done. You just mark the questions where you find any difficulty from this worksheet, if there is any from this one. But the chapter will be completed. I think There isn't anything. This is similar. Okay, you also just tell me no. Let me know. Okay. See, conversion of galvanometer into ammeter is what? Basically, if you just have a galvanometer. Now, as I discussed with you, galvanometer just detects current. Okay, it doesn't measure current. So if it just detects current, then see, how will I calculate the value of the current? That's the problem. If I don't have an ammeter, ammeter is there, then everything will be done perfectly because ammeter's function is to provide the current's value. But if you just have a galvanometer, how can you calculate it? So what we do, we take the galvanometer. The galvanometer's resistance is G, this capital G that I have marked, and we connect a resistor in parallel to. Now, whenever resistors are connected parallel, or any term in bio also you will study, it is known as shunt. Okay, S is written for shunt. Shunt term, the word shunt, this term, this means when something is bypassed. Okay, when you have bypassed something. Like in your heart, there's a pulmonary shunt for from the lungs. Okay, so that it doesn't mix the blood. So similarly, shunt term means when something is being bypassed. So here also it is not connected, it is connected parallel. So that's why this is just specific name for it. This is just a simple resistor connected in parallel. Okay. Now there are two characteristics of the shunt. One, it is connected in parallel. Second, this is a small resistor. Value will not be very much. Now, let's say some amount of current enters. Let's say I is the main amount of current. But here is a branching. Remember, Anim, we studied that in branching the current divides and in
Yes.
parallel connection, of course. Let's say Ig is the amount of current that is coming through this branch. How much will go here? This one?
Minus I minus Ig.
I minus Ig. Very good. So, see, Ranim, when I talk about the potential across this part, shunt, and potential across the galvanometer, do you think they'll be the same or different?
Ma'am, I think that be different because
Why?
S is very small. S is small.
It is a small resistance. So, how does it affect the potential then?
Ma'am, could I think galvanometer could be potentially bigger.
Why? But what if the current balances it then?
Then it will be bigger.
That's how we check. Parallel connection potential will be the same.
Yes, ma'am. Potential will be bigger.
Okay, but that's not how you check. See, directly potential will be the same because it's a parallel connection. Now, potential, you know the formula V is equal to IR. So here the resistance is S. S is the resistance only. Okay, I minus J, Ig is the current. Potential difference across the shunt is S into I minus Ig, while across the galvanometer, resistance is capital G and Ig is the current. So it will be Ig into capital G. Now
Yes.
see from here, if I write the formula of the shunt, it will be Ig into capital G by I minus Ig. Now see Raneem, if I have the value of the current through the galvanometer, I have the value of galvanometer's resistance, I have the value of shunt, I'll be able to calculate the current. I also I'll
Yes.
be able to calculate. So
Yes.
that's how now an ammeter is constructed. Means you get the value of the main circuit. Okay. But the requirement is that you should know all the rest of the values. But in your numericals, you can get calculate the value of the shunt. I think your case study is based on this only. All these things. The last case study.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Running your paper will be of 25 marks?
20 marks.
20. So have you done your worksheet properly?
Yes, ma'am. I'm focused on textbook mainly.
Okay. All right, do the worksheet as well. It's a good worksheet. Questions are very good. We should do that. Write it, Raneem. Then we'll see how to convert galvanometer into voltmeter.
Done. Not done.
Okay, Ravi, coming to voltmeter, how to convert a galvanometer into voltmeter? See, conversion basically means using the galvanometer only. How are you getting the voltage? Same thing like the current. No, this is never used in practical life. Nobody uses. Why would you use a galvanometer to calculate current when you already have an ammeter? It's a theoretical concept, but it comes in the exam. In the NEET, it comes as a formula based question only. Okay. Very few questions have come in the NEET paper, but I'm not disturbing you with NEET or any part right now because you should focus on the theory part for your UT. After your UT, we'll practice few questions from this chapter and some extra things that I have to tell you that I didn't tell you because of the test. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
A galvanometer is connected and the resistor is connected. Now, this is a normal resistor connected, but it has a higher value. That had a lesser value, shunt. This has a higher value. And again, we'll see Ig is the amount of current that is flow. Now, Raneem,
Ma'am,
you tell me
it's
one thing.
connected series.
Series, yes. So, Raneem, can you tell me what's the equivalent resistance here?
Ma'am, uh, I R plus G.
What?
R plus G.
Yes, very good. R plus G. This because this is connected in series. Now see, if I have the equivalent resistance, now if I apply the Ohm's law, V is equal to IR. This is what we know according to the Ohm's law.
Yes.
So V is equal to current is Ig, resistance, I'll be using the equivalent resistance that is R plus G. So from here, R plus G is equal to V divided by Ig. So resistance is equal to V by Ig minus capital G. Now, Ranim, if you have the rest of the data, Ig, capital G, R, you will get the voltage. But most of the numericals will ask you to calculate the resistance. So that's I've written the formula for resistance, but this is the main formula. Whatever is missing, you calculate. Now, from here, we'll be able to calculate the voltage. So that's how a galvanometer is acting as a voltmeter. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So, Aranim, write this. Let's practice one numerical then from this topic as well.
I'm
And the name?
yes, ma'am, done.
There's one very good question that I have. This one. The rest of the questions that you'll have will be completely formula based. This is a good question because ammeter term is given here, so it becomes a little confusing. So see, ammeter of resistance. What is your ammeter? Do we have an ammeter over here? Ammeter basically means your galvanometer only. That is acting. That is, it means this is converted into the ammeter. The galvanometer has been converted into the ammeter. Okay. So if it says an ammeter of resistance, this, so it means it's the resistance of galvanometer. Okay. It won't mention the term galvanometer. So galvanometer's resistance is 0.8. So G is this, and it can measure a current up to 1 ampere. What was the current of the galvanometer IG? We used to represent that IG. It was going through this. It will be 1 ampere. Now let's come to the first part. It says what must be the shunt resistance enable ammeter to measure current up to. What's the total current that it is saying? Total current that it should measure is 5 ampere. It's saying what it says what's the value of the shunt. That's it. Now it's a very easy question. You just had to decode it. S is equal to Ig into capital G divided by I minus Ig. So 1 into zero point 0.8 divided by 5 minus 1. That is zero point 0.8 divided by 4, which is equal to 0.2 ohm. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, second part, see, Raneem, this is what I was referring to. It says what is the combined resistance of ammeter and shunt? Now, again, as I'm saying, no, ammeter means the galvanometer only. So, combined resistance of ammeter, as we discussed, resistance of ammeter is capital G only. This is the first part. The resistance of the ammeter, basically the galvanometer, is 0.8. And it says, and shunt. The shunt also we have calculated. Shunt is zero point 0.2 ohms. It says what is their combined resistance. See,
In
how
series
were,
or
yes, this is what I was going to ask you. You are asking me. How should they be connected, Anil?
ma'am, shunt is always connected in parallel.
Exactly. Okay. So it won't mention this, you will know because shunt is always connected in parallel. So there is no question. So it basically, instead of seeing, see, writing everything that shunt is connected in parallel to galvanometer, it has skipped the words in this particular question. So basically, this is a question like this: 0.2 ohm of shunt is connected to a galvanometer of zero point 0.8. Now, see, you already know when you have R equivalent, it is R1 into R2. I'll write the thing. 1 by R equivalent is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 for parallel connection.
Yes.
Okay. So here R equivalent will become G into S divided by G plus S when you take LCM and reciprocate it.
Yes.
This will be zero point 0.8 into zero point 0.2 divided by zero point 0.8 plus 0.2. This is 0.16 divided by 1. That is 0.16 ohm, which is the combined resistance. Okay.
Yes, ma'am, got it.
So, Ranim, please write this.
I'm done. I'm done.